right. Good afternoon to everyone, and a warm welcome to the Cardinal Flexi migration session. For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Craig Grasco. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here at Cardinal. So I manage relationships, and I'll be managing the contracting side on the Flexi migration. So when you move across from Flexi to Cardinal 360, we're going to enter into new agreements and have discussions around that. So when you guys are ready to move, I will be having conversations with you and going through our normal master services agreements, our licensing agreements, and our service level agreements. But today is not my show. Today is the show of Tanita, and Tanita heads up our executive. She's our executive of professional services. So ultimately, the Flexi migrations is her responsibility. I know that there's a team underneath her, which consists of Lauren with a number of other people. And Tanita has formulated a winning formula on how to migrate off Flexi onto Cardinal 360. What we're going to do is we're going to make this more of an interactive session. So we're going to let Tanita present and take us through the way that we do the migrations. Then I'm going to open up the floor to any questions. And instead of the usual way that you need to type it in, raise your hand and I'll enable sound, and then you can ask Tanita a question directly. It will be more interactive and more informative. So thank you very much, and over to you, Tanita.
Thank you very much, Craig. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to start by just taking you through the Flexi migration process and just where we are right now. So shortly after Flexi joined the Cardinal group, we embarked on a migration strategy between Flexi and Cardinal 360. Originally, the migration had a bit of a slow start, but as word spread, more and more brokers decided to embark on their 360 journey. As Greg mentioned, within Cardinal Professional Services and within the structure that we've built, we then built a migration team that facilitates all of the migration projects. And this team's sole responsibility is to make sure that the migration journey is as streamlined as it possibly can be, and that all of our partners are supported during this journey. The Cardinal Professional Services team are currently managing 18 migration projects concurrently, and Cardinal aim to migrate around 100 partners over the next few years. Now, as all of you know, with every new system implementation, we have to consider three key drivers: technology, the process, and then most importantly, the people that form part of that process. Now, with any new technology brings about change in a process, and a change in the process requires all people participating to be invested and participating in that change. So what is the benefit to our partners? The migration to 360 allows us for the unique opportunity to revalidate the data. So clients can really use this opportunity to clean up their data, to make sure that we obtain missing data or data that is unconfirmed. It also allows us to align to standard signed-off products. So because there's no copy-paste function that currently exists between Flexi and 360, it really allows for our partners to capture against the latest, greatest insurer offerings that are out in the market. Therefore, making sure that once you move across, you're on the latest product that the insurers have to offer that has been signed off and verified by our insurers. Access to an ever-evolving technology platform. Cardinal 360 is a leading policy administration system in the South African market, and Cardinal as a group is constantly innovating, improving, and building its offering to the insurance industry. This comes coupled with enhanced integration protocols in the form of the Cardinal Data Exchange Library. So the Cardinal Data Exchange Library really offers different levels of data imports, exports, and exchanges as part of the standard Cardinal technology stack. And then most importantly, having all of our clients on one platform really gives us the opportunity to focus a bigger development team onto new technology for the greater portion of the outsourced market. So it really enables us to do more development and make sure that our platform remains current with the technology out there. So what does Cardinal contribute in this process? All migrations currently are executed as a project, and Cardinal has invested and will continue to invest its resources to this migration strategy. And there's numerous different ways and services that we offer to aid this migration. These services include project management, making sure that there's dedicated project management on every migration project to make sure that the process is streamlined and we hit all milestones on time and correctly. Change management. Change management is extremely critical part of the transition, especially for our users, to make sure that they're comfortable, they know what platform they're moving to, what they can expect and what the benefits of that platform is. A migration specialist, a business analysis that goes with our business alignment process. A migration specialist that is really there to support you throughout the journey, to make the journey as streamlined as possible and make sure that there's someone there that can help you with any queries or concerns that you have throughout the process. Product analysis and product design. This is really to help with any bespoke product. So as you guys know, Flexi in its origin was very flexible with product building, and the brokers had a lot of access to build their own products. And even though this is a process of alignment, where there is bespoke product, this will help us to design and build those products within the 360 platform. And then the biggest change we need to encourage, or the biggest change that comes about with this is business process reengineering. So one of the building blocks of this migration is business process reengineering. And the biggest change we need to encourage in this migration is making sure that all users understand the automated workflow processes and the enhanced functionality that comes with Cardinal 360 that makes it for a more effective working environment. With this comes also the ability to incorporate digital transformation in your transformation journey. And Cardinal 360 really opens up that pathway into digital transformation, therefore helping all of our clients and our insurance partners to communicate digitally with all of their clients and make sure online functions are made available through self-service methodologies, web applications, and mobile applications. The combination of business process reengineering, the new technology stack, and digital transformation really allows for a full operational transformation within your business. Other important aspects that we need to include as part of this migration journey, obviously we need to take care of change management. So as I've mentioned, people are our most valuable asset during this journey, and we really make it our mission to make sure that the people are comfortable, they're supported, and they understand the approach, so that when they start working on Cardinal 360, they understand all of the benefits that it has to offer into their day-to-day lives, as well as the ease of use within the system once they go live. Training. We facilitate multiple sessions of group training throughout the migration process. These training sessions are hosted monthly. This is over and above individual attention that gets paid to training and training specific user groups within your environment. The group training that we facilitate is on an ongoing basis, and we encourage all teams to attend this training. There is no limit to this training, and this will be an ongoing process for the next few years to come. Okay, let's discuss the migration tools. So Cardinal have invested heavily in building migration tools that can allow us to assist the brokers during their migration. Even though there is no fully automated migration process that exists currently, we have built a semi-automated process that is designed to assist with the transfer of personalized policy data. Now, this does require a mapping between two personalized product structures and needs to be done on signed off versions of the products where the structures are more or less similar between Cardinal, 360 and Flexi. And what this does is it does a field by field mapping of policy data from one system to the other. This mechanism is currently in pilot phase. We have successfully tested it on 2 of our bigger partners to make sure that it can carry across the policy data. And we call this a semi-automated migration because it will bring the data across in quote form, allow for the user to verify the data that has been brought across and any data that couldn't be mapped, and then to fill in any missing information before the policies are activated and then are live in the 360 system. Then a bulk client detail import. So in order to cater for the client details to be loaded from Flexi into 360, we have built a client detail import function that where data can be exported from Flexi in the format that 360 needs it, and then directly imported into 360 for those clients to be created. Now, this will accommodate commercial and individual clients and will bring across majority of your client level information, such as the client details, address details, banking details, contact details, etc. This tool is available in the front end, making it really quick and easy to use for any of our Flexi products. Then we've also built a tool to facilitate the transfer of electronic documents. So we built an engine that sits outside of the application, but that is available for use from the front end by a user, where you can transfer the electronic documents from Flexi to 360, making sure that you remain paperless throughout this journey. This documentation can be moved on policy level, on client level, or on product or database level if you're interested to do it in more bulk fashion. And then last but not least, we have built various asset imports. These asset imports, similar to the client details import, allow for certain sets of data from a commercial perspective to be extracted on a policy by policy basis to bring across bulk of the asset data from Flexi into 360. Again, a method that is built for ease of use and is available in the front end of Flexi for any users to use. That will then be exported from Flexi and imported in 360 to really just help the users during the loading process. These tools, again, are all freely available in the front end, and you can contact our service desk at any given point in time to share the training manuals on how these processes work. Your migration team will also be on hand to assist and take you through a step-by-step process on how to utilize these functions. The steps for migration. So once we kick off your migration process, as I've mentioned, there's a migration implementation lifecycle, and all migrations are implemented as a project. So throughout this process, you'll have a migration team that are available to you that will meet with you weekly, that will assist you with any hurdles that you might experience along the way. And they will follow a structured process, as Craig mentioned, that we've defined as a whole from within Cardinal. The migration implementation lifecycle starts with contracting and licensing. This is Craig's area of responsibility. With every new client with every new migration client that embarks on their journey, we do have a discussion on contracting and licensing where required for the 360 application. Phase 2 and phase 3 talk about business alignment and business discovery. These are two of the most important phases within any implementation project, but specifically for migration. We're constantly cognizant of the fact that this is a system change, and the system change does have a big impact on your business. And to ensure that we have the best fit from a system perspective into your business model, we go through business alignment and business discovery to make sure that what we have to offer in Cardinal 360 caters for all of your business needs, or if in turn out of those processes comes bespoke development that needs to be catered for before your journey to 360 can start. Doing these two phases as accurately as possible really helps the journey further down the line to make sure that there are no hurdles come loading stage. Phase 4 talks about solution design and configuration. Now, as I've mentioned to you a little bit earlier in the presentation, Cardinal 360 is very rich in automation functionality. All of that functionality is configurable within the system and can be controlled from within your environment. During the solution design phase, we walk through the process of configuring the system to cater for your specific needs, and we do this process with you. This really empowers you and your team to have a full understanding of what it is that 360 has to offer and how you can manage and maintain that on an ongoing basis. Phase 5 talks to solution development. So if there is any bespoke development requirements that we identify during phase 2 and phase 3, the solution development phase will form part of phase 5 before heading into phase 6, which is our change management and training. Change management is a critical part of the migration process. I think I've mentioned it a few times in this presentation because it's such an important pillar of a successful migration. Change management is where we utilize change management demonstration to take all of your user groups through the functionality that will be made available bespoke to your business in 360. These change management demos will really just assist your user groups in making it known what the benefits are within 360, how it's going to change their day-to-day lives from an operational perspective, and what they can expect before going live. From migrations that we've done in the past and system implementations, not even just migrations from Flexi to 360, but system implementations as well, we've seen that this process is really beneficial to also get all user groups buy-in for the change, therefore making for a more seamless transition. Phase 7 talks about user acceptance testing. Again, a very important process as part of the journey to make sure that everything that we have implemented, everything that we've demonstrated, and anything that we might have developed for your business has been implemented correctly and carries your sign-off before the final phase of go live. Following go live, there's also a transition period where we, from a migration team perspective, assist you in your transition to a business as usual space, making sure that you understand the tools that we utilize in our business as usual space, how query logging works, and how we can help facilitate the first few month ends for you until you feel comfortable and stable within your 360 process. So what do we need to ensure success? Firstly, we need to ensure our products are up to date and ready for use. This really helps us during the migration process. Cardinal has a very good relationship with our insurer partners, and we meet with them regularly to make sure that firstly, our system remains compliant, and secondly, that the latest version of their insurance product is available on 360. And if there's any changes that we need to facilitate, that we facilitate those changes, test and sign this off with our insurers. As I've mentioned, we meet with our insurers regularly to make sure that we stay up to date with anything that comes along and with any of their compliance requirements as well. Secondly, client commitment. The migration, as you can imagine, does take its toll on your teams. Migration has never been an easy process, even though we try to make it as seamless as possible. There are certain portions of the migration and certain times during the migration where it will really take its toll on your teams. And we need to make sure that during those times we have client commitment from all of you to make sure that the migration process is adhered to, the milestones are reached, and we continue to have commitment throughout until the end of the journey. We will obviously be there to support you throughout this process, but it's very important that you understand from the onset what you can expect during this process and how we can assist during this time as well. Change management again. making sure that we include all of our business users in our change management and not just specific departments. It's extremely important if we want to get buy-in from all of our users that they all facilitate, that they all form part of these change management demonstrations and the training. Even though you might have users that might not work on the system as often, it's always important that everyone in your office has visibility of what the system has to offer and what will be utilized within your environment. And then last but not least, sharing in the strategy. We need to understand what are the milestones that are important for you as a business, and we will share what's important for Cardinal as a business based on our experience in our migration project. These milestones will be defined up front. We'll agree the migration approach up front as a collective and make sure that we deliver on each of those milestones, therefore making this a partnership journey from beginning to end. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. That's me from a migration perspective. Craig will now open the floor for any questions or comments from the audience.
Tanita, thank you very much. A very informative and well-constructed presentation. If you guys have got any questions, you'll see you can raise your hand and then I'll activate voice for you to ask your question. Okay, I can see someone's raised their hand. Mr. Burnett. Okay, Ian.
Hi, Craig and Tanita. How's it going?
Good, how are you, Ian?
Good.
Wonderful. Good. Thank you so much for your presentation, Tanita. And thank you for this opportunity. You mentioned the migration tools on the personal lines product and that they were in kind of a advanced sort of testing phase. Can you tell me which products those are that have been tested? I'm in particular looking at Hollard products, Bright products on the personal line side.
So very good question. Thank you, Ian. So what we've done, we started off the journey with OMI personal lines on the Green Box product. We facilitated testing quite extensively on both those, with two of our partners on that product. Different insurers, though, have different approaches that they want us to follow. So I know, and Craig can also share some light on this, but I know Hollard has a different approach that they'd like to follow in assistance to their brokers for this migration. So likelihood is that we won't be using that specific tool to bring the data across, but we are working on a semi-automated approach with Hollard that works slightly differently. Bright, currently we haven't embarked on that as yet. We really take our lead from the brokers that are currently in the migration pipeline and what their priorities are for personalized migration, and then building up a portfolio of evidence from that stack. Craig, I don't know if there's anything that you want to add.
Yeah, and just on the Hollard side, we've embarked on a project with them whereby they want the data to be extracted from Flexi system and then given to their data scientists or their actuaries to do analysis on it, because typically they want to take it off Flexi, and when we import it into Cardinal 360, they want to map it to their current black box products. So that's something that we're working together with them on. Obviously, it depends on the various Hollard partner and the relationship, whether they're going to move forward with this, or you're just going to be able to move the product as is from Flexi onto 360. They haven't mentioned who they want to move this onto, but typically they want to move it onto their private and prestige type of products in the personal line space. But so they want to help with the mapping and migration of that data to be able to work against the black box rating and take away the manual user intervention with that.
Okay. And then would we just, from a product point of view, I mean, obviously part of the configuration and that whole setup, we would then obviously just, from the brokers that I'm looking after, is to send you that list of products to see if you do have a current signed off version of those products?
Correct. So you can, it's one of the phases that forms part as part of the business alignment and discovery phase in the migration implementation lifecycle. So you can get into contact with your migration team and they will facilitate a product comparison with you and also do a product prioritization process with you to roll out the highest priority products first and then get those going signed off before moving on to the next set of products.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
So if you've got a question, raise your hand and then I'll enable voice. We've got one. Jackie.
Hi guys, thank you. I just have a question. Do you have any sort of brochure documentation that shows the differences between Flexi and Cardinal 360?
So Jackie, we have a feature matrix document that we can update and share with you, but we don't have a fully fledged document that shows the differences between Flexi and 360. I would be happy to do a demonstration with you and your team to just go through the functionalities. As you know, both systems have an extensive suite of functionality that exists. So for us to highlight every single function that sits within every single module of the system would be quite taxing. But we would be absolutely happy to facilitate a system demonstration with you, and we have experience in obviously where the key elements of differences are that we've seen out of experience.
Sorry, I know that when Ian was still with Cardinal, he did come to our office and he did show us sort of screenshots and things like that. But there's certain things that we are looking for that I'm not sure how far you've gotten in implementing them. So it's stupid things like, can you email, if a client sends an email that you've sent from Cardinal, does it go into Cardinal or into your outbox, into your your Microsoft Outlook?
So I think, Jackie, what we can do is I would be happy to do a catch up with you. If you want to just send me, sorry, Jackie. If you were to just send me a note, tanita@cardinal.co.za, then I'll gladly get the migration team to have a catch up with you guys and just show progression of development that we've done throughout the year.
Awesome, Jackie, I'll do that. Thank you.
Jackie, just, before we embarked on this, we obviously, by having the Flexi resources and the Cardinal resources sitting in the same office, and they were at that stage pre-COVID, we had the opportunity to spend a lot of time going through different screens, looking at functionality within Flexi and within Cardinal 360. We also had a few of our clients that were running both 360 and Flexi, and we spent time with them to understand the nuances and the differences between the two systems. And then from a development priority point of view, we spent, and Tanita, you can correct me, close to a year, if not longer than a year, enhancing Cardinal to 360 to ensure that we've got the Flexi functionality, the Flexi specific functionality that caused a differentiator in Cardinal 360. But each site is a little bit unique, and Flexi has been around for many years. So maybe there's one or two tweaks that have happened in your specific environment. Hence, that's why the migration team does an alignment session with you to just make sure that we haven't missed anything.
Awesome. No, I'll send Tanita an email. And of course, the big question is costing. Is the costing going to be on the same basis as Flexi, or is there a different pricing structure?
Jackie, I'll review that and I'll have that discussion with you.
Okay.
I don't know what your costing is offhand, but yeah, we need to just have a look, and we do some price alignments, but it is done through a discussion.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jackie.
Okay, any more hands? Any more good questions for us to answer? Going once.
I guess, Craig, just in closing, just to all of the participants, should you wish to start your 360 migration journey, please feel free to email myself at tanita@cardinal.co.za, or you can email Lauren Wheeler as head of our migration team at lauren@cardinal.co.za. We'll also include those email addresses in the communication about the webinar afterwards.
Yeah, and Lauren is Lauren at Cardinal. Or if you can't remember those, info@Cardinal and I'll get it.
It's a pleasure, Leanne.
Great, guys. Thank you very much for your time. And Tanita, thank you for your concise presentation. Very, very informative.
Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Bye.
Cheers.